Hey everyone, Tin Man here, back with today's daily jail update, and I take particular interest in today's jail because tomorrow I'll be casting the Underlords Pro weekly tournament, and of course this jail will heavily dictate the meta for that tournament. You can find out more information down in the description below, but I'll be hosting that tournament over on their Twitch channel at twitch.tv/underlordspro. So, with that in mind, what are we going to see in today's meta? First off, we see a lot of demons are jailed out. We've got Terrorblade, Shadow Demon, and Chaos Knight. Now, this doesn't, of course, affect the Demon Alliance at all, since any of your demons will still work just as well on their own. But the big loss here, in at least my opinion, is that Legion Commander builds are going to be a little bit tougher to come by because you won't have quite as easy access to early game demons. I know I love pairing up Terrorblade and Shadow Demon in particular with her, so you know, maybe that's a little bit of a struggle for me personally. So, we also have Bloodseeker out, who has, I think, shed the title as worst unit in the game after his recent buff, so that he now heals by any adjacent unit dying, but he's still pretty bad, and was really just like an early game unit that could occasionally carry some fights. So not the biggest loss here. Slarder is the only warrior removed from the pool, and we've said this before, that Slarder is kind of replaceable as far as warriors go, especially in the late game. You want Tidehunter and then like another scaled, if anything, like a Viper if you're going to go with Dragon Knight, perhaps Medusa if you want to go with Hunters, or something along those lines. So Slarder generally gets replaced, but he is an important part of the early game warrior build. If you want to have 3 warriors, you're going to need some good damage dealing, and Slarder is a really high damage dealer in the early game. So it's definitely a pain for early game warriors, but by mid and late game, he's not that big of a loss. Chaos Knight and Sven are your 2 knights who are out today, so it's going to be very difficult to get any kind of knights composition online. You can't even get up to 6 knights with both of them missing. Although, like a 4 knight composition with, like, say, Batrider, Luna, Abaddon, Omni Knight can still form a core of, like, knights and healers or something like that. It'll be a little bit weaker, you'll have a little bit less flexibility, and knights are already a fairly inflexible build as is. So it's not the most ideal situation, but if they're uncontested, it could still be quite valuable. Bristleback is a powerful brawny late game unit. You know, you'd build into him with something like Heartless from, say, Shadow Demon, another Heartless into Bristleback, and Beastmaster for lots of AoE physical damage. So I think with Bristleback out and, of course, Shadow Demon gone as well, I would try to avoid kind of Heartless-based comps as one of your most powerful enablers, and one of your most powerful payoffs is off the table. Witch Doctor and Venomancer are 2 Warlocks taken away, and I think as far as Warlocks go, they're pretty low impact. Witch Doctor occasionally had some utility in other builds like Knights with Trolls, or perhaps pairing up with a Troll Warlord later on. But, you know, there's much more impactful Warlocks to lose. Like, if you had to lose a Disruptor, an Alchemist, a Shadow Fiend, those would be much bigger loss. So you can still definitely run like 4 Warlock builds, although your choices are going to be a little bit limited, but the most powerful choices are still there. And finally, we've got Treant Protector and Mirana. Those are both kind of, well, actually we missed Sven, sorry. Sven being a knight missing, I don't think he was played very often at all, even in Knights comps, so, you know, wouldn't worry too much about that. You just won't have that flexibility of grabbing all those tags in one unit. Kind of his most appealing feature was getting scaled along with some other alliances as well. So Mirana was kind of a good late game hunter who's going to be gone. Between her and Terrorblade, you don't really invalidate any alliances. If you still want to play like Sniper, Lycan, Drow Ranger, Beastmaster, and Medusa are still really good like core hunters to build around, so this doesn't really hurt you that much. And Treant Protector actually being gone is, I think, a good thing for the meta. I think Treant Protector has been a little bit overpowered, a little bit abusive in the early game. He's definitely a little too strong, and it's very, very hard. I say it a lot in my games and on my stream that if my opponent has a 2-star Treant Protector, I just feel like I can't ever win. It's just so incredibly powerful at all stages in the game. So frankly, I'm glad to see him gone. I don't think it's going to take down Brutes too terribly. You know, it's not devastating to Brutes. Brutes are still a very strong strategy with Axe and Ogre Magi in the early game. Lifesteal are doomed to come to late game, but Treant Protector is definitely a hit to that strategy and probably brings them more in line with kind of the average of the rest of the meta. So what does that leave us with? Leaves us with a lot of mages. Not a single mage has been touched, so definitely look for magic damage dealing comps, especially because so many scaled are out with Slarder, Venomancer, Sven gone. No assassins have been touched, so lots of assassins are still very viable. If you can get to the mid to late game, warriors can still be quite good as a front line, backed up by something like Dragon Knight, other hunters. You won't have Bristleback, but some other combination there. I like Dragon Knight and Viper in particular when paired up with warriors. So mages, assassins, warriors, those are going to be some big ones, as well as, of course, brutes and warlocks. And maybe if you get really lucky, you can pull together a knight's build with today's jail. Good luck in your games today. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check out the information down below about the Underlords Pro Weekly Tournament. See you next time.